Out with the old and in with the new. Last night, Aaron Rodgers, with his new team of the Pittsburgh Steelers, took on his former team, the Green Bay Packers, with the guy who took over the reins from Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love, who looked spectacular last night. He was 29 for 37, 360 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Now, let's not let those horrid Steelers jerseys distract you from what both teams were telling us last night. First, the Steelers, who have now lost 2 in a row, letting up 30 points each loss, which is not a formula for success. They are a team that doesn't... I think they know their identity, and there's a ceiling to that identity. They're going to play good defense, which clearly has not been producing back-to-back weeks. They want to run the ball, but it's not been as efficient as they would like. And they want to pass it with these big body receiver tight end combo, which I don't know how effective that will be long term in the season. But now with the Ravens getting healthy, just got a big win over the Bears, and now going to Thursday night with hopefully a win over the Dolphins, they're going to start getting rolling again. This is a perfect time for them, primed to go on a roll, while the Steelers, now back-to-back losses, and then not too long from now, they're going to have to play the Ravens twice this season. And this really can derail their season really fast. And they could go from leading the division to missing the playoffs. Now, the Packers, they showed us what they've been showing us all year long. Week in and week out, they have a sustainable formula on how they win. And I say sustainable for a reason, because this is something that is going to help take them into the playoffs. They have a run game, which is average to above average at times. Josh Jacobs is an elite running back, but he has not been producing as well as he has in previous seasons. But they know when the going gets tough, they can rely on him to hit the end zone. And if they can get the other backs involved, they're great. Spread the ball out. They have all these different targets who get hot different nights. Last night, the hot hand was Tucker Kraft, 7 receptions, 143 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Now that's, for tight end week, that was pretty impressive. A solid, disciplined defense, which Parsons is getting more and more acclimated every single week, and he's getting better and more impactful every single week. They may not always be the flashiest team, but damn, this team is efficient, and most importantly, this sustainability and this efficiency can lead them to the playoffs and hopefully to the NFC Championship game and represent the NFC in the Super Bowl, like I guessed. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Fourth and Forever podcast. I'm your host, Josh Kirby. Let's get into it. That's a W. So, this week I went 3 for 5 on my picks. Let's talk about the 2 games that I think I think everyone had. Bills beating the Panthers. Panthers, like they always do, they make it a little competitive at very, very early, but throughout the game, you just realize they were outplayed, outmatched. When you got Josh Allen, Mr. reigning MVP, and James Cook, who was a monster today, there's nothing the Carolina Panthers are going to do to stop this. And I mean this in the nicest way possible. Andy Dalton, I think it's time to hang it up. You looked so out of your element out there. Now, I know the line ain't that great, and I know that this overall Panthers team isn't great, but you looked like a step down from Bryce Young, and I don't think Bryce Young is the answer there. As for the other game, I had the Bucs over the Saints. Bucs pulled it out. Saints, I thought, could have made it competitive. They didn't make it competitive. They ended up pulling Spencer Rattler and putting in Tyler Shuck. Both didn't look great. I think Shuck got the ball out a little quicker, which when you have a bad offensive line, you want to be able to get the ball out to your receiver's hands real quick, and it's going to be a lot more timing passes, and it just overall, you want your offense to function more like that when the pressure's getting to you. But that's the NFL. The pressure is going to be on every single drive, whether it's from the defense or just as trying to do your job as a quarterback. They might be rocking with Shuck for now on, but we'll see where it goes. I think Rattler did his thing in his time there. He tried his best, but you can't just keep turning the ball over. If you were a rookie and turning the ball over, they can get some excuses like, okay, that we can coach that out. But now it's to the point where it's like, okay, you have enough games, you turn the ball over. That's a problem. We got to go to the young guy. I mean, he threw a pick too, so I think the Saints are just in the quarterback market next year. Whether they're drafting one or got to go get one, that's where they're at. But let me first and foremost talk about my best pick, which I thought about changing. When I found out that Lamar was not playing and it was going to be Huntley, I definitely had some trepidations about running with it. But I didn't. I didn't change it. I stuck with it because I know my team and I knew this was a must win and this was a game we had to pull out. And we did. Defense showed up. You know, it's not saying much because it's only 2 games. But, I mean, a Sean McVay ran offense and a Ben Johnson ran offense has played us before the bye and now after the bye, and we've held both teams to less than 18 points. That to me is a win. That to me is very impressive, and that shows that we have the ability on defense to force field goals, get more efficient in the red zone, not let up big plays. That this is something that it can be sustainable as the season goes on, especially now that we're getting healthy. And on offense, Huntley looked like a huge upgrade from Cooper Rush. He actually, that was the best game I've ever seen Huntley play. I mean, he's came in for us before, and I was always not a big fan of it. But I knew he was a good locker room guy. Community loves him. This was a great showing. I was so happy for him. He ran when he needed to. He made great plays. We got Kohler involved, D-Hop. And then, most importantly, shout out to Mr. King Henry. 111 touchdowns on his career. He now passes Walter Payton for 5th all-time. That, if your name is ever in a conversation with someone like Walter Payton, that's some serious credibility. I mean, future Hall of Famer. Has to be. He's doing amazing things. And I looked at the record. I think it's like 120, 123 are the next 2 markers. There's a good chance this season or next season, Henry gets in the top 3. He'll be a top 3 touchdown scorer of all time when it comes to rushing. And that is insane. I don't really have much more to say. I really want to see how our offense functions with Lamar. We play the Dolphins on Thursday night, so I'll probably give a quick breakdown on my take on that later in the week. But overall, this was what we needed. This was a must-win. We came in there, we did what we had to do, and I loved every aspect of it. Now, there's definitely parts here and there that we can improve on. I still think our pass rush was okay, but not great. I still think our offensive line has some strengthening to do, but overall I don't mind it. Overall, I just think the team just needs to keep. We're primed to go on a run, and we really need to lean heavy into it. Now for our opponents, the Bears. The only thing I really have to criticize about this team is the quarterback. I think they realize they force turnovers and they run the ball. That's how they win. They do not win through Caleb, which is not the Ben Johnson offense we have grown to see. Ben Johnson's offense is quick strikes, ball out, efficient quarterback play, and Caleb is not that. He much rather run it when he probably shouldn't, go for the big play, which sometimes is great if it works. If it doesn't, it's not. He threw a really bad pick to Nate Wiggins. Nate Wiggins was hawking that route the whole time, jumps right in it, picks it off. You have to see that. And you have to see that. And those are the small little things that he's missing. He's skipping the ball. It's the layups. You have to hit the layups. The best comparison is him to Bo Nix. Bo Nix has been terrible at the deep ball this season, but he hits the layups. Everything 20 yards and in, he's dotting them up. It's perfect. His intermediate passing, his short passing, it's so that is how you transition into a long career in this. Even though your talent may not be of Caleb Williams, whose arm talent is off the charts. But if you can't be efficient down after down, then your offense is off the field. You're not scoring touchdowns. You're not winning time of possession. You then are looking on the scoreboard and like, wow, we just lost to the 1-5 Ravens. That I know that's still the Ravens. We're still a serious team. But from their perspective, they should look at it and be like, that's a 1-5 team. We just won 4 in a row. This we should win this game. But they didn't. They came in to a hungry team, and they got ate up. Next, Niners, Texans. Now, I had the Niners winning this game because I was buying into what they were selling. And I still have, but I think the injuries have just caught up to them. This is just a team that's been decimated so much. And the Texans had such a phenomenal game plan. Texans, time of possession, time of possession, time of possession. They felt like the whole beginning of the game, the Niners never touched the football. The Texans were keeping Stroud upright, which was allowing him to use his skill set of spreading the ball out and throwing when you talk about throwing beautiful football, him and Jared Goff are probably the two best in the game right now at that. They just know how to sling it. And it looks, and like, you gotta know what I say. It's not that means they have the deepest ball or the strongest ball. It means when they throw it, it looks like how you want a quarterback to throw the ball, and it looks so catchable. And that's why I think a lot of his receivers can step up and show off a little bit, because it's just there. It's money. And this is a team that may have dug themselves too deep in a hole early in the season just because the Colts have been rolling, and it really is going to be hard to catch up to them. But this is a team that very well could get on a roll, get hot, put some wins together, and they might find themselves in the playoffs. Maybe. Who knows? I'll talk more on that later. But as for the Niners, I think you just need to get healthy. And I don't know what's going to take. I'm going to talk more about the Niners specifically later, about how I view them in the playoffs and stuff. But this is a team that really needs to figure out what they are and what they're going to be moving forward. And most importantly, you need to do something about the injuries. This has been the most injured team in the NFL since Kyle Shanahan has taken over. I don't understand why that's even a statistic, but it's definitely not one you want to have. There's a disconnect somewhere with the strength and conditioning. Something is going wrong there where your players are dropping like flies, and it's not good. So they need to figure that out, because this is a team that has the coaching staff, that has enough playmakers where they can be a playoff team. They can be a contender. But based on injuries, how are you going to... If everyone on your team is falling apart and you're playing nothing but third and fourth stringers, you're not going to compete with the elites of the elites. It's just not going to happen. So it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. And then next, Cowboys-Broncos. I had the Cowboys winning this. I probably shouldn't have, but I was buying into what they were selling too. They were this hot, dynamic offense, but such a bad defense. Whew. And the Broncos and the Cowboys, why this game was so, I think, significant was because these teams are so different. Quarterback's somewhat comparable. Bo's more mobile than Dak, but I think Dak has a better arm talent. I think overall his arm talent is just better. It's not phenomenal, but I think he just has the ability overall as a better arm talent. So maybe compare with them, but their offenses. You got a solid top 5 tight end and 2 receivers that would dominate wherever they go. While on the Broncos, you got everyone. This week, Troy Franklin was balling out, but then they've had weeks where it's all about Sutton, or all about Mims, or all about somebody I don't know about. This is a team that doesn't have star playmakers. They just have guys everywhere that are willing to do whatever it takes to help this team win. And I think the Cowboys, they have a little more big names. They run the ball, I think, a lot better. They're a lot more efficient running the ball. Why I think quick pass game is so much more of the Broncos' strategy. Their run game isn't bad. I think it's pretty good with J.K. and R.J. Harvey, but overall, I think it's the quick pass game that really carries this team. And then defensively, the Broncos' defense is out of this world insane. Even with Pat Surtain going down, you should be targeting the corners all game, and it didn't matter because this Broncos team was just so good. Well, the Cowboys defense just is flat. It's boring. It's bad. It's just they aren't able to produce any kind of real, legit, consistent pressure on the quarterbacks, the receivers, the running backs, the linemen. They're not doing it. These teams are so... This was a mismatch I should have saw coming. But I thought the Broncos had too many emotional wins where this was when they were going to drop one, and the Cowboys just were on a roll. But Cowboys are really showing that this is like I've said, this is a offense that should be in the playoffs. But it's a defense that will either lose them a playoff game or not be the reason they won't make it. And I think it's pretty obvious. While as for the Broncos, the offense has a clear ceiling, but you are not missing the playoffs because of this offense. And this defense can definitely carry you into the playoffs. They're a really good team. I have to say I really underestimated them coming into the season, and I think I really think a lot of people did. I think Bo Nix is playing really well, not phenomenal, but overall I think this team's great. But transition to two teams, one that's not making the playoffs, one's definitely making the playoffs. It's the Giants and the Eagles game. So before I say anything else, I just want to say that my thoughts and all my best wishes are out to Cam Scatterbo. Devastating ankle injury, and I don't want to be that guy, but that was the moment that injury happened was the moment I knew the game was over for the Giants. He is the pounding force of this offense. With him and Dart really having a great connection and getting things going, they're top tier in juice and in just football. Like they represent that footballness, that why we love this game, that hard, that tough, that gritty, little bit of flash, but there's a whole lot of substance. And that's what we love. As football fans, I know we love that shit. It's great. Scatterbo's been phenomenal this season. I can't wait. Hopefully surgery goes well. I think they were doing surgery the night of the game, or that night after the game. So hopefully he'll be able to get on a quick recovery, and we'll see him back here next season doing his thing with Dart. But this Giants team, I mean, you lost their number one receiver. You lost your juiced running back. You got a rookie quarterback, an okay O-line, and now it's just it's a team that had, I still think can win probably 7. I'm probably close to 6 games now, but it's a hopeful 6 because you know you're getting Neighbors back, you know you're getting Scatterbo back, you know you got some draft picks coming, you still got a great defense, and a lot of those guys are still on contracts, so you're still going to have next season. So this is a team that has a lot more hope next season. As in this season is almost, I would say, washed, because I just don't see this team being able to pull together 9 wins at the status of where this team's at right now. Especially when you compare them to the Eagles, who didn't have A.J. Brown out there, and they looked phenomenal. I mean, Devontae Smith was looking great. You had Dallas Goedert pulled in 2 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts still looking phenomenal. The defense looks really, really schemed really well. Vic Fangio has done wonders for that defense last year and this year. They're a team that everyone should be afraid of. Saquon really busted it open this week. This is probably his best game of the season. And I'm not just saying that from stats-wise. Just look, eye test. He looked so much better than he's looked all season. It's a phenomenal team. Now, the reports have came out that they said they are not trading A.J. Brown coming to the trade deadline. That might be true. I know they're not going to trade him for just anything, but it's all talks. But they're not going to trade him for just a 3rd round pick. He's going to get some. They're going to get some real capital for him because he's a real player. But I've gone through it, and I really tried to deep dive into what teams would want to bring him on, and I just don't know. I mean, I thought about maybe the Broncos, but are the Broncos really ready to make that big of a swing? I mean, they got pieces all over the place. Do they really? I mean, they would like him, but do they need him? The Chargers, I mean, you got Ladd and Keenan Allen that look really nice. And Quentin Johnson at time looks great. I mean, do you want to bring in A.J. Brown? Pay him all that extra money when you were trying to cut money just a year ago, cutting some of your defensive players and dropping their salaries so you can... I mean, you moved off of... This is why moving off of Joey Bosa was to save money. Why would you bring in a guy that's just going to cost a lot more? The Patriots are probably the best bet. Rabel's there. Them two had a great connection. Drake May needs a big body outside threat. I mean, Diggs is good, but he's not. Diggs is not that, and he's not going to be that, at least not again. He was never a big body guy. He just was a great possession guy, great route runner. He was just a phenomenal receiver, but he's not A.J. Brown. Like, that guy is just big body, go up and get it. They don't really have that in New England right now. They got Keyshawn Boutte, who's great deep ball receiver. Pop Douglas, who can really get active. 2 good running backs. They have pieces, but I think really having a big body receiver would open up that offense even more. But is that what you want to do? Bring in a guy and not showing how he's going to gel with the locker room and everything? You're going to have to target him a lot. That's a lot of pressure on a young quarterback. Him forcing the ball to a guy when now he has the ability when no one needs the ball. They all want the ball. He can give it to everyone. Diggs isn't even demanding the ball. He's getting active. He's getting busy, but he's not being like, hey, I need 10 targets a game. Like, A.J. Brown wants all the targets. And I think putting him in any locker room with a young quarterback is very risky because you don't know how fast that can turn sideways. I mean, I've talked about it before. You can see it with Dak when Dez was there. Dak is a much better quarterback now, obviously, because of the years. But also, we saw immediate change from them moving off of Dez. He was a lot more efficient. He didn't have the pressure of throwing to that name so much. Because the thing is, it's not always who you're throwing. It's not always who you're targeting. It's that name on the back of that jersey that matters. And if you see that and you're like, man, I have to give him the ball. But you don't. You put the best play forward. You give it to the guy that's going to do the best. And it's hard for a young quarterback to decipher when is it the right moment to throw it up and let A.J. Brown make the play, or is it the right moment to dump it off to Ramondre Stevenson, who's right there that's going to get that first down. It's like, which decision do you make? And it's harder. Generally, when you have that big body receiver, you have that big name brand receiver, you're going to want to throw it. Be like, he needs his touches. Let me just give him a chance. If he makes it, great. If he doesn't make it, now you look like you just made a bad decision. And it's really hard on a young quarterback. And I think that's something that New England really has to deep dive into, because you don't want to put your young quarterback in a rough position when he's playing at such a high level. I mean, dare I say, top 8 quarterback in the league? Top 5 quarterback in the league? I mean, you have to have the conversation at the moment. I mean, his constantly passer ratings above 100. I mean, he's throwing touchdowns every week. I mean, he is playing at an elite level right now for being in his second year. And I mean, I'm not using that term lightly. He is really playing very, very well with, some would say, not a very great offensive weapons. But, right, we'll have to see where that's going to go. So, I've been sick all weekend, and honestly, this Sunday was kind of a snooze fest for most of those games. A lot of blowouts, not a lot of close games, a lot of obvious winners, a lot of weird things happen. I mean, Colts dominated the Titans. Who would have thought? Miami dominated the Falcons, which, who knows what the Falcons are? I know Miami has the ability to score a lot because they have a good offensive coordinator. They have a good quarterback, and they got weapons, so they should be able to score. But Falcons had one of the best defenses coming into Sunday, and they just, Kirk Cousins, yeah, you can join Andy Dalton. I think it's time to move on. But I don't know. I don't know. This Sunday was weird. This weekend was weird. I'm really excited to see how this Monday night game and the rest of the season flows out. And it's all up in the air. As I'm winding down, like I said, I've been sick, been dealing with the flu, and I got a little sore throat, so I don't want to be rambling on for too much. Need to go drink some hot tea and get myself feeling right, get ready to watch Monday Night Football. But before the season, these were my the 14 teams I had making the playoffs. The Ravens, the Bills, the Broncos, the Chiefs, the Texans, the Patriots, the Chargers, the Eagles, the Lions, the Packers, the Bucks, the Rams, the Seahawks, and the Commanders. Now that we're halfway through the season, probably later this week I'm going to drop something about maybe this week, next week, I'm going to talk about midseason awards and who I'm thinking is going to win MVP and stuff like that. But right now I want to do a little playoff adjustment to update my guessing because of how the season's going. I'm just going to move one team out and slide one team in for both AFC and NFC. Because I see the playoffs still working out how I originally pictured them. Maybe not seeding wise, but definitely with who's going and who's not going. But let's start with the AFC. So first and foremost, I had the Texans making the playoffs. I do have them missing the playoffs now. I think they just dug themselves too deep of a hole. The division's too tight. I think there's just other teams that, even if the Ravens and Steelers battle off of the division at the end, I think Ravens can win the division, and then Steelers may not even make the playoffs. Denver, KC, and the Chargers are all playing at really good levels, and especially if the Chargers keep getting healthy. This is a team that you can't expect them to miss the playoffs. And the Broncos, unless there's some sort of injury, they're not missing the playoffs. And it's the Chiefs. Chiefs are the Chiefs. And then you got the Patriots, who are looking great. The Bills, if they miss the playoffs, that would be pretty shocking. especially based on their schedule. I think they just have a favorable schedule. And like I said about the Ravens, I really think we can pull it out. But I have the Texans out, Colts in, because I think Colts are going to win the division. I think it's dumb to overlook the Colts. They're playing great. Jonathan Taylor is playing like an MVP. Had another 3-touchdown game. Phenomenal. But what I really wanted to say about the Colts in is what I said is a compare and contrast with the Chiefs of records don't mean everything. Colts obviously are now 7-1. Chiefs are 4-3 with, I think, a chance probably going 5-3 after they defeat the Commanders on Monday Night Football. But everyone would say, probably based on record, the Colts are the best team in the NFL. And I say, maybe, but I still might have it as the Chiefs. See what they do tonight. But the Chiefs are just, they're such a good team. And it's because of the veteran presence and the experience they have. The Colts are a team that could run all the way and make it to the playoffs. But when teams are young and inexperienced in the playoffs, it's a different monster. And any team that goes to the playoffs will tell you it's a different monster. It's different. The preparation, it's extra games, extra preparation. You're not used to doing it. Unlike the Chiefs have been do it every single year. They know what it takes to be in these positions. They know the experience that all that experience wraps up and really delivers. It's impressive. Honestly, it's just hands down very impressive. And I think that even if the Colts make the playoffs, they're going to have, they might be up for a rude awakening because that lack of experience can really kick in. And the Chiefs they're just, with their experience and with their fortitude, if they're not the favorites to win the AFC, I'd be shocked. Because right now, I think they're the favorites to win the AFC. I don't see any team beating them at this moment. And playoff time is going to really be where the talk is talking. And seeing who really can walk it. But overall, but let's not talk too much about it. We still got a good amount of weeks to the playoffs. But yeah, Texans out, Colts in. Next, I got the Commanders out, Niners in. Now, I know Niners just lost. They can't stay healthy. But they won back-to-back games before that loss with a broken team. If this team just starts rolling in healthy, they just have the coaching staff. They have playmakers. Where the NFC, I think the middle realm of the NFC isn't that great. I mean, you got the Commanders who can't stay healthy at quarterback or receiver, and their overall, I just think it's just, the season's just not producing what they thought. You got Dallas who have a great offense, but horrid defense. The Giants, who they have a lot of juice, but they already lost their number one receiver. Now they've lost their running back. And they have a rookie quarterback. That's really hard to get things moving. I can't determine what the Falcons are. Are they good? Are they bad? I mean, if Penix was out there, would they have been more competitive? I don't know. I honestly have no idea. I've seen this team look terrible twice, but I've seen this team look phenomenal a couple times. Like, I have no idea where this team's at. I have no betting power on the Saints. I think they are not going to be in the question. Panthers, who knows what they are. Vikings, they sneak in. They have a great roster, but who's going to play quarterback? JJ Wentz? Are you going to be worse with JJ out there? You aren't great with Wentz long-term. Obviously, we can see that. Bears, I mean, you just dropped it to the Ravens, and we see this team. I don't take the quarterback seriously. So, in Arizona, I just can't take I don't take Arizona seriously. I just don't know. I don't think they know what they are. So it leaves to, of all of that, you go with coach, you go with coordinators, you go with veteran experience, and that's what the Niners have. I think they easily have a shot to make the playoffs. And if they can get mostly healthy, I mean, they're not getting Warner back. They're not getting Bosa back. But if their young guys can step up and this offense can keep rolling, this is a team that could sneak out 10 wins and become a wildcard team. Now, I don't think they'll make it farther beyond that. But I definitely could see them 9-8, 10-7 making the playoffs. It wouldn't shock me at all. So, those are my two big adjustments going into the rest of the season and seeing where we'll be at. Like I said, it's a short episode. I'm still getting over being sick. There's a lot going around. Everyone's getting sick right now. So everyone try to stay healthy. Take your vitamins. Drink your water. And most importantly, watch plenty of football because it always makes me feel good. Everyone, have a great rest of your day. And thank you.